Hi, I'm Kelly Riley, and this is my critical thinking vlog too. I read excerpts from the book Made to Hear: Cochlear Implants in Raising Deaf Children by Laura Mauldin. This book provided an interdisciplinary perspective to parents of those children who are deaf and hard of hearing, and the chapters covered are titled A Diagnosis of Deafness, How Mothers Experience Newborn Hearing Screenings, and it talked about some controversial thoughts in the medical profession that assert that the brain is the focus of all stages of implantation. Implantation professionals assert that identification of newborn hearing loss should be considered a neurodevelopmental emergency. So that is some of the thoughts of the medical community regarding CIs. The second chapter is called Early Intervention, Turning Parents into Trainers. Then we have Candidates for Implantation, Class, Cultural Background, and Compliance. Then the Neural Project, The Role of the Brain, Sound in School, Linking the School and the Clinic, and the conclusion, The Power and Limit of Technology, talking about how, yes, CIs have brought this technology and this, overcome it of an impedance, but is it an impedance? And there's pros and cons to CIs. So Mauldin provided a mostly non-biased perspective that touched on the views of medical professionals, parents of deaf and hard of hearing children, and those in the deaf community, and those from the general population to provide literature to those interested in supporting decision-making and whether their loved ones receive a CI. I read some Amazon reviews, some of those that are deaf and some that are hearing, and overall, the general consensus was very high ratings for the book. One quote said, Mauldin mostly importantly helped me understand the sociocultural and medical narrative perspective of deafness and essentially why there is such a divide in the long-battled position of proponents of oralism and those of a deaf identity and use of American Sign Language. Another was just a short excerpt that I found, which said, fully educated on the pros and cons of ASL and oralism. So that really just goes to show that she got across that non-biased perspective to show between hearing and the deaf communities combined and what their thoughts are on cochlear implants. Another quote was, either way, the key issue here is with or without cochlear, sign language should be viewed as bilingual. It's the attitude and the ideology against sign language that's the issue. And I think that's something we've been talking about a lot in class, and we have to get a hold on that ASL is a language, and we need to promote that, because I think a lot of hearing people think of it as overcoming an impedance rather than an actual language. And I think that's just part of our upbringing and something that we have to change in the population going forward. So that's just an introduction to my critical thinking vlog 2 and how I read the book Made to Hear: Cochlear Implants in Raising Deaf Children. I look forward to talking about it more in class. Thank you.